Well, the last match of the league stays. It's the Namibian side taking on the Dutch. Well, they would be definitely looking to come back in this game. The Dutch side, Namibia, will be definitely looking to take that revenge against the Netherlands. Just to side battling for that spot in the final. It's going to be an interesting encounter today. A bit of overcast conditions here. Well, for Netherlands, Scott Edwards, the captain, leading the team. Aryan Dutt, Max O'Dowd, Michael Levitt, Noah Kroers, Ellen Brett, Tezanina Maru, Tivad Gokten, Van der Merwe, Vikramjit Singh, Vivian Kingma.
And for Namibia, Zeze Smith leading the side, followed by the wicketkeeper batter, Jane Green, Sikongo, Scholes, Brussel, Freelink, Jay, Kruger, Lofty, Eaton, Trumpelman, and Sean Fouche makes his way into the side. So Namibia would love to win, and they have to win big today in order to qualify and play the final against Nepal. Nepal has already qualified thanks to the run rate and back-to-back wins. So Netherlands winning the toss, electing to bowl first. Remember, they won the toss and elected to bat. It didn't go in their favor. It was overcast condition. They learned from their mistake, and they have finally opted to bowl first. So it's going to be tricky first hour for Namibia.
Well, absolutely. It's a bit of overcast condition. Vivian Kingma would be the one that the Dutch side would be looking into. Well, Manan Kruger has had a decent run in this tournament. He would be definitely looking to take, and this is the man on your screen, Vivian Kingma. Would be definitely looking to capitalize the first over in this overcast conditions.
Yes, and it won't be easy to play against him because we saw in the first hour of play yesterday as well when Nepalese bowlers were bowling, there was hint of movement for the pacers, not much of bounce offered from the pitch. So it will be very interesting to see how Namibia will start their proceedings. They have to save wickets, especially in the first power play. That's been the story for them. They haven't had a great start with their opening pair. But it's a must-win game with a great margin in order to qualify. We are into the last game of the league of this Tri-Nation Series. First ball, right on the money. Hit it with a straight bat. So that's always a positive sign for any batter when you can get connected to that ball in the very first delivery.
Well, absolutely. A slip in place. Definitely looking to capitalize the overcast conditions. Just see the field set. There's a slip in place, backward point covers, mid off, mid on, short mid wicket, and a fine leg inside the 30-yard circle.
So a slip in place. So it shows that he will be trying to bowl across the line on that occasion. Straightened, a slightly overpitched delivery. But he got away with that. So that's how the pitch has played, especially in the overcast condition. Look at that. It was just above the good length area. Didn't have much reaction time. The interesting thing, Ayush, here is there is space on offer, even though it's overcast.
Looking to get that movement from the pitch, Vivian Kingma. And one thing about Causius, if you see the first delivery, we're just staying with that stance. But in the second delivery, we're just shuffling around that off stump. Oh, another one. Beautiful delivery just coming off the wicket.
And it's never too easy playing across the line. He was falling from around the wicket, angling away from the left-hander. Look at that. He cramped for room. He was trying for that pull shot. But I told you, because of the overcast condition, the ball will not bounce as much as the batters would love to see.
Absolutely. We have seen that sort of delivery in yesterday's match when Pratish Desi was bowling. The batters were finding it difficult to understand the bounce from the wicket.
Again, trying to go too hard. The ball stopped for a while. That's what happened with Coach Jay, so he wasn't able to time the ball the way he would have liked to. So, as we're mentioning, every time we come to Combox in the initial state of the game is you need to be very watchful in the first hour of the play, especially first half an hour during that power play. You need to be watchful. You will get loose balls, and then you can just chip it over the infield because there are just two fielders protecting the boundary. So Namibia in a must-win game with a greater margin. are yet to get off the mark.
Just driven. Just fielder out there. They're looking for that run. A bit of luck out there. A bit of miscommunication. Will you not be happy? There was a chance, Kiran.
A risky run. Look at that. Straight in his hand. He had to dive for it. Direct throw would have done the job very easily. He was not even in the frame. Oh, lucky, lucky Namibia. And they would need a lot of luck in today's game because they have to beat Netherlands to play Nepal in final, and they have to beat them comprehensively with a huge margin. We'll come with the stats about like how much of run will be needed and the stuff. There's a sluggish fielding there. Misfield will cost one more run. So finally some runs of the bat, 3 in fact. So after 1, Namibia are 3 without loss. I beg your pardon, 2 without loss.
Well, Koja and Kruger needs to be careful here because we are talking about the overcast condition. The ball is getting that movement. Namibian side would be definitely looking to capitalize the power play overs as well.
Gokton comes into the attack from 2 and didn't have a great outing in this T20 as he has gone for plenty. The right-arm medium-pace bowler from Netherlands. He would love to change his figures of bowling. Look at that. He's into his 4th match, already conceded more than 100 runs. Very, very expensive indeed. The Nepalese batters, along with the Namibian batters in the other game, went after him. So he would love to leave a positive mark in this game heading towards the final. Beautifully bowled outside off. So this sort of tournament is very important, especially in this part of the world. These days, lots of foreign country players are coming to play in Nepal. So what this has done is given a new air of enthusiasm amongst the crowd as well, even to the players. They are playing against some quality batting, quality bowling. A great initiation for the players because they're heading towards this 2024 World Cup as well, Ayush. So this will provide a solid platform. Nepal, as we have seen throughout the tournament, have been experimenting a lot with their batting order, bowling order. They want to find that perfect combination heading towards the T20 World Cup.
Well, absolutely, Kiran. Not just Nepal, but if you talk about Namibia and Netherlands, they're also trying for that combination, trying to find that right combination before moving on to the T20 World Cup. A brilliant start for Gokton so far. It's testing the batsman around that 4th stump. This time driven, just came towards the pitch of the ball and driven beautifully. The first boundary for Namibia.
Elegant shot. Exquisite timing on that occasion. Didn't try to overdo anything, just use the pace of the bowler, just on the face of the bat. Look at that, beautiful, just punched it and the ball raced. Even though there was some rain this morning, the outfield is still as fast as lightning. That's been the story so far from TU. The outfield will support you no matter what. Call for a quick run. Easy. So we were talking about lots of international teams coming to Nepal, playing in here. We saw earlier Canada came in, played against Nepal. And mind you, they didn't play that well. They didn't live up to that their expectation when they were playing here. But after returning here from here, they played some quality cricket. So that's the beauty of facing the players from foreign countries. It exposes you, it gives you an opportunity to learn, find that perfect combination and go about your business in the bigger platforms.
Once again shuffling around that off stump. The ball was pitched around his legs, played beautifully. There's no fielder out there. 2 boundaries in this over.
The struggle for Team Gokton continues here, not finding his rhythm, just drifting down the leg, easy pickings, risky serve towards the boundary. So Namibia is starting well after that shaky start in the very first over. Just conceded 2 runs, Kingma. He has been pick up the bowlers in pace department for Netherlands. So Gokton has to compliment his partner. Again, drifting down the leg, Hughes appeal. Maybe touched his thigh pad, otherwise would have been another wide.
Well, the plan from the batsman is looking clear. He's just shuffling around that off stump, just trying to play around his legs.
So that's the end of the over. So Kingma will continue from Chovar end. 11 runs in 2 overs. 9 runs coming up first over from Gokton. Kingma, on the other hand, is bowling beautifully. First delivery, look, there's not much of the bounce that the pitch normally offers here in TU. That's been the problem for batters. Netherlands struggled all the way through yesterday. And, well, Namibian batters are getting the taste of the pitch today.
Well, they're just taking their time. They had a good over in the previous one. Gokton was coming. As a bowling partnership, you need to complement your partner who is bowling from the other end. Kingma has been bowling beautifully. Well, a bit of surprising move. He's not going up for the seam-up delivery with the new ball. Appeal. Well, umpire says it's sitting down the leg.
Yeah, quite optimistic on that occasion was Kingma. Umpire not interested at all. So bowling over the wicket, drifting towards leg, maybe just missing the leg stump. That's what might have been the only reason. Mind you, there's not much of bounce offered in this pitch. He's bowling with some generous pace, is Kingma. Talking about Kruger, he didn't have very good outing, played 59 innings of 59 runs against Nepal. After that, it's been 3 and 3 for him, so he'd love to leave a mark in here. On the other hand, it won't be that easy to playing against Kingma. On the other hand, Gokton has not been bowling up to his reputation, I must say. Van der Merwe will be curious to bowl in this pitch because overcast condition here, gentle breeze going through, and we all know what Van der Merwe can do. He can be very devastating during these conditions.
Once again, the plan from Kingma, you were just testing Kruger around that 4th stump in the first 2 deliveries. Now, if you look at Vivian Kingma, just nipping it back into the right-hander, Malan Kruger. There's a slip in play. They have removed the slip. It's placed in the fine leg, their short fine leg. This backward point covers mid-off, mid-on, short mid-wicket, and a fine leg.
5 wickets for Kingma in this tournament so far. 3 against Nepal and 1 each against Nepal and Namibia. That was the first game where he got 1 wicket. Beautifully driven, just crossed the bowler's head, runs towards the boundary for 4. So that will give him a lot of confidence to Kruger. That was very well timed. Just returning the ball to the bowler over his head.
Well, look at that flow of the bat, just going over Vivian Kingma. And good thinking out there by Malan Kruger as well. He just came down the track to the pitch of the ball and just played it straight. That's the safest place you want to play your shots.
So the last ball of the 3rd over, played it with soft hands, guided it towards Square leg for easy single. That will conclude over number 3, Namibia 16 without loss. So 3 overs have been bowled. The good thing for Namibia is they haven't lost any wicket. So change in bowling. There is coach of Nepal, Mr. Monty Desai, watching very closely. There's no game for Nepal today and tomorrow, so the boys can relax. Monty Desai looks very calm and composed because they are already into the finals. In the meantime, Aryan Dutt comes into the bowling for the first time in the last league game of this Tri-Nation series.
Well, Scott Edwards going to his off spinner. We have seen this side in the first game, in the previous game against Nepal as well. There's a left-handed batsman in crease. A bit of uneven bounce out there. I guess the plan is clear from Scott Edwards because there's Kodje, who's a left-handed batsman in crease. He was just trying to tackle, focusing on those matchups, bringing his off spinner.
I'd love to see the replay of that. He didn't bowl that in line, way outside off stump. The bat got connected really late, hitting the back of the bat and running towards the boundary for 4. So, well, things are going Namibia's way slowly. Aryan Dutt, you have to check your line, mate. There he goes. Beautiful comeback. How did that miss the stumps?
All coming around the wicket. Look at Malan Kruger, just trying to play with the spin, trying to heave it over the mid-wicket region. So with this, what it has done is, you could just see a change in field. The third man has been brought inside the circle. Just 2 fielders outside 30-yard circle. Deep mid-wicket and deep square leg.
Goes over the top, gets the result. 4 runs, so Aryan Dutt under pressure in his very first over. What Aryan Dutt was trying to do before this delivery was there are some patches in the pitch just around that leg stump area. This time he drifted towards offside and bang, he goes over the top, clears the infield comprehensively, rushes towards the boundary. Second 4 of the over.
Well, 2 boundaries in this over. Malan Kruger, you could just see Malan Kruger, the boundaries that he has scored. Kiran is just coming down the track, going to the pitch of the ball and just trying to clear the 30-yard circle.
Yeah, it's the same pitch that was used yesterday, so we can see some patches out there. Ayush just around that leg stump area, or maybe just outside. So the spinners would love to capitalize on those patches because ball tend to bounce and turn. That's what Aryan Dutt was trying to do. Got all over the place. So already 8 runs of the over with the final delivery to go.
Once again comes down the track. And that's the first 6 of this game. A brilliant way to end the over. You could just see Malan Kruger just coming down the track, getting to the pitch of the ball and just attacking him.
Malan Kruger dancing down the ground, smashed it over the bowler's head. The ball went sailing over, hit that side screen. Magnificent 6. So what a great way to end the over. Aryan Dutt is welcomed with plenty of flourish. After 4 is 30 without loss. So the change in the bowling didn't do the trick for Netherlands. Aryan Dutt went for 14 runs in his very first over. Vivian Kingma continuing with his third very interesting move from captain of Netherlands. And why not? He's bowling beautifully at the moment. Netherlands are aiming for that first wicket, whereas Namibia are slowly building up this partnership. Probably the best one in the tournament so far. Just saying that he was trying to play cross the line, paid the price of the age to the keeper's glove. Kose has to depart. You cannot use those sort of shots against the liking of Vivian Kingma.
Well, that was a good thinking for Vivian Kingma. The start that Netherlands would have wanted, they got it. Got rid of Koje, the opener. You could just see Vivian Kingma from the start. He's not bowling those seam-up deliveries in the first over. First 3 balls, he went with that seam-up delivery. After that, he was just continuously bowling with that cross-seam delivery just to generate that bounce from the wicket. Look at the celebration. He is happy.
And Netherlands is happy as well. The captain stuck with his prime bowler, got the reward. Kose has to depart for 6 of 9 deliveries. Namibia 30 for 1. So the first wickets down for Namibia. Jan Frilling comes to the middle, so it'll be left-hand, right-hand combination for Namibia. Kinma, well, he does what he always does, taking the wicket in the power play. That ball was crashed. Didn't have any chance in the to the fielder in the point ball. Gone past him, braced to the boundary for 4.
Well, you could just see that length of the delivery. It was pitched up. A beautiful placement there by Frelink. What a way to start. You're the new batsman in crease. You just got that middle of the bat in your first delivery. It will certainly boost that confidence.
It's always pleasant to see a left-hander showing the face of the bat, reaching to the line of that delivery. Elegant in perfection. A great start from Frilling. He has got some start, but hasn't been able to accelerate the run rate as he would have liked to on that occasion. That was a ripper of a delivery. A perfect comeback after going for that 4.
Well, look at this delivery. Completely opened up Freelink. Oh, that was close. A beautiful delivery by Vivian Kingma. Just changed his line, changed his length. This sort of delivery that you want to bowl against the new man in.
And one thing I like about Kinma is he's a very good student of the game. He understands the errors that he commits and corrects it immediately. On that occasion, it was pitching and leg drifting, maybe just outside the leg stump. Umpire said not out, but after being hit by Frilling for that boundary, Kinma has bowled beautifully.
2 beautiful delivery to Frilling, and this is what you need to do against a new man in. The first delivery was pitched up. It was in his arc. He just went for that shot, and after that you could just see Frilling just targeting the stumps, just varying his length.
So Frilling has to think, because he was not comfortable against those 2 deliveries. Again, inside is lucky that didn't go towards the stump. In the meantime, he'll be very happy, man, sitting in the non-striker's end for the final delivery, because after being smashed for 4, Kinma has come back beautifully. That delivery just on that 5th, 6th stump area, never an easy shot to play. So the final delivery of Kinma's 3rd over is coming. He has gone for 12 runs, but has taken that 1 important wicket. 35 for 1 is the score. Namibia would love to post a big target and put Netherlands under pressure. Their run rate is not that good, so they would love to change the scenarios. So lots of dramas to unfold here into international cricket stadium. Malan Kruger, on the other hand, is batting sensibly. Things have looked a lot easier for him compared to other batters. Final delivery played with straight bat, no runs, so that will conclude over number 5, Namibia 35 for 1.
Well, a decent start for the Namibia so far. They just lost 1 wicket, but Malan Kruger, what innings he's playing at the moment, it's just targeting, just capitalizing this power play overs. Freeling is the new man in, it just needs to hold the crease. Oh, it was close. Just there's a change in the commentary box. I'd like to welcome Sachil Thimal Sinha.
Thank you very much, Ayush. Was a close call here for Freeling. Fortunately for him, the ball didn't carry to the fielder there. And with me in the comm box is a well-known figure in cricket journalism, associated with TK Cricket, associated with Cricket Buzz as well. He's been here for some time. Purchase Young, welcome to the comm box, Purchase.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Sachin. Namaste, everyone. An absolute unlooked for privilege to be back in the comms box here at the beautiful TU ground at Kirtipur.
It looks a different pitch, isn't it? We saw low-scoring matches in the League 2 competition, but this T20i series has been about runs, runs, and runs.
Yeah, it's been a remarkable turnaround, really, as we come to the end of the over. Oh, he's out.
Yeah, that's the second wicket to fall. Very, very soft dismissal.
Yeah, I almost thought it was a bump ball, rather a soft, a soft celebration as well from the Dutch boys. But that is, oh, yeah, it's just shanked that really, not off the face of the bat, floated back to Van der Guchten. You don't see many easier catches than that.
Not helping the cause of the Namibian side to get a big victory and qualify to the finals at all. Freeling has been dismissed for 5 of 7. Second gone for the Namibian side. So J.C. Smith, the makeshift captain for the Namibian side after Erasmus has been sent back home because of an injury, comes in, has a massive, massive responsibility on his shoulders. Smith, he wanted to bowl first as well.
Yeah, a huge job to do for his side now, has JJ. In what is, well, the Dutch are on the top of the table, Namibia in the final, at the bottom, but still a de facto semi-final that we have on our hands here.
I did have a small conversation with Scott Edwards, and he was clear in his mind. He wanted to win this and not look at any other equations around.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the right attitude to take. The Dutch do have a cushion, we think probably about 30 runs to play with, so that would translate to about 3 overs, given the rate of scoring we've had in the T20s. But they won't be thinking about that, certainly not with ball in hand.
They've got a good start with the ball as well. 35 for 2 after 5.4. They'll certainly take it. Overcast conditions today. Slightly different conditions. We also had some bit of drizzle in the morning.
Yeah, a huge toss to win. And of course the Dutch will be looking for the win. Whether Namibia Well, I did speak to Coach Pierre Brown, and they did have all their net run rate numbers sorted ahead of time. So whether they'll be content with just a win today, I think that's a very different question.
That's exactly what Jesus Smith told me before the toss. They're not concerned much about the amount of the size of victory, rather. After 6, 35 for 2.
In the public.
35 for 2 after 6. Burgess here with me in the commentary box. He's been here for some time. He was also in Pokhara. How did you like the city of Pokhara, Burgess?
Yeah, 4 days in Pokhara. Well, not even close to enough, I have to say. But then I did see the runs were flowing back here in Kathmandu, so I couldn't stay away forever. And it seems my return has arrested the flow, well, for Namibia in the least.
You've been lucky for the home team as well. Oh, straight through him. Vandermerwe does this again. And the Madal is getting played there in the dugout. Something with that Madal in the Dutch dugout there. But more importantly, third wicket has fallen. And deep, deep trouble here for the Namibian side.
Yep, into the attack, immediate impact, and that's really just gone on with the arm. He's playing for spin that's not there. And well, Namibia are in a real hole here now.
And Edwards is happy. Decided to bowl first, and which captain would not be happy with a score of 35 for 3. Gone for 24 of 18. And Namibia now 35 for 3.
Cover sweeper. Two off, please. Two up. Thank you. Crazy. Go, man. Five to go. Rolf, do you want to take over or are you happy?
So Lofty Eden
Start like this, start like this.
got the record of a fastest T20i 100 in this series. They just won 5 net tri-series. Came in and hammered Nepali bowlers all around the park and broke the record of the homeboy Kushal Malla.
Yeah, a huge impact he's had on this T20 series. Records tumbling, really.
Gents, 4-5.
But it must be said that apart from that standout innings from Lofty Eaton, the T20 has not been much to write home about for Namibia, certainly compared to their efforts in the ODIs earlier.
Yeah, you want him in?
Definitely, they won 3 out of 4.
Yes.
Jesus Smith was really confident before the start of the series, the T20i series. And the Namibian side, you'll have to question their intent, because if they are not looking for runs, there's only one way they're going from here, and that's back to Namibia.
Yep, just as a reminder for those at home, ooh, as that's taken the edge. Just a loose slip, not a million miles away. But for those at home without the benefit of a net run rate spreadsheet, the Netherlands have a cushion of about 30 runs to stay ahead of Namibia should they lose. Conversely, that does mean that Namibia, they need to post a total that they can defend with a 30-run gap. And at the moment, well, wickets down. If they had any intent of going for par plus 30, there's precious little sign of it now.
You termed the right word, intent, and that was lagging in the Namibian side, apart from those big hits from Kruger in the 3rd over, I believe. We've not seen that kind of intent. I'd really want to see Lofty Eaton at least trying to replicate what he did against Nepal in the first match of this tri-series.
Yeah, best to remember, he was coming in at 5 for that innings, with his side in a hole, as they are now. Just content to nudge that for the single. Brings JJ Smith onto strike for the final ball. Well, it's understandable with wickets falling that we're going to see some consolidation, but they really can't afford to hang around for too long here, can they?
Exactly the case, because they're anyway in trouble. They need a win at least with 30 runs. They had to think of getting somewhere close to 180 at least, and they're pretty capable of doing that as well. Scored 206 against Nepal. Scored 187, chasing that massive 247 runs posted by Netherlands. I'll have to question their intent today, though.
Yep, well, acceleration needed at the end of the 7th, with the score on 38 for 3.
Oh, sorry, Maxi, no.
38 for 3. Purchased the young here with me in the com box. It was a wicket maiden by Van der Merwe
Yeah, cool.
and Michael Levitt. Handed with a different responsibility today.
Well, the bowling changes have worked fairly effectively for Scott Edwards so far.
Lovely. Yeah, Vic.
Turns now to Michael Levitt, who, well, he doesn't even bowl an enormous amount in club cricket, but
Okay.
he's had a mixed tour. Has done a job in a couple of the ODIs.
No, you're up.
And hasn't possibly had the tour with the ball that he would have liked in the T20s.
Actually, no, you can keep him up, drop out.
And needless to say, his innings of 135 was the talk of the town for a couple of days at least. 247 in a T20 match. At the Netherlands side, it was the same side that actually were bundled out for only 120 runs in the very next match against Nepal. So it has been a mixed kind of tournament for the Dutch side.
Well, for all of the sides, really, it's been a bit of a back and forth series. Started in the ODIs. You lose one, you win one, you come back strong. Well, we've seen it from most all the sides in this trilateral series across both formats. Very up and down, very back and forth. Nobody's really been anything you could call consistent.
All three teams, in fact, had a similar fate in this series.
Yes, Lev, brilliant.
So Burgess, tell us how cricket is developing in your country and how popular is it right now, and the effort put in by the board in Netherlands and to take cricket into the homes.
Well, cricket, of course, the game has an extremely long history in the Netherlands, going back, well, probably over 150 years. But it's always kind of been a niche pursuit in the Low Countries. It has started to break back more into the public consciousness. Certainly those performances of the World Cups have helped. 50-over World Cup especially. Started to see it on NOS, the main Dutch broadcaster, carried a couple of those games. So yeah, you are beginning to see a bit of chat, but I have to say that the real growth of the game in the Netherlands in the past few decades has really come from the expansion of the South Asian community. I think probably more than half of the youth players in the Netherlands now are of South Asian origin or of heritage, which is really it's brought the game, I think, to a wider demographic in Holland, and it's obviously had a huge impact on the quality of cricket played in the country as well.
Yes, Mikey boy. Yes.
Understandable. Somebody very famously said, cricket is an Indian game accidentally discovered by the British.
Yeah, and then copied off the British by the Dutch,
4-8, boys, 4-8.
as they did with a great deal of things back in the 19th century. Discovered blazers and gentlemen's drinking clubs and all sorts of British pursuits that the Dutch adopted, among them cricket, and one that has persisted, albeit
Lovely again, Mikey.
among a rather minority at least, unlike football, of course, which has grown throughout Europe. But a tidy over from Michael Levitt there. 42 for 3 after 8.
So the anticipation is on the higher side. Nepal playing the Dutch in the T20i World Cup in the States and the Caribbean. So July 4th, I'm sure the Nepalese community in Dallas will be storming into the venue.
Lovely.
Well, a day for fireworks, isn't it?
Outside,
Stateside. And fireworks is what we'll be hoping to see at Grand Prairie, just outside of Dallas. Huge Nepali community, of course, in
Massive.
Dallas.
Absolutely, and the anticipation is on a different level now. They're waiting for that World Cup to come, and it's great that the ICC is attempting to get cricket popular in the United States again. The reason I say again is it was really popular
Lovely.
during the colonial era. Cricket used to be the most popular sport, even in the United States. In fact, the first recorded international match is that between the United States and Canada.
That's right, the first recorded match of any team sport, in fact, played internationally between the United States and Canada, I think 1843, 4, 5.
Cut. And a boundary to break the shackles finally. They need plenty of these if the Namibian side is looking to get their place booked in the finals. Captain Smith now coming to his team's rescue.
Yeah, just a little bit too much width from Van der Merwe there. And JJ Smith's not going to miss out. But it was a bit of a gimme. It's not really a risk-taking shot that we've seen for the first boundary. I think JJ's really going to have to come and take on Van der Merwe here. And so he does.
How often have you seen this? They say commentators curse. For JJ Smith, it's commentators blessing, maybe?
Ask and ye shall receive, Sachin. You always know when JJ Smith's at the crease. This is a possibility, as they do say back in Windhoek. Smith can hit, and that is a favoured shot of his. Straight back over the bowler's head. And the side screen. Well, that's a long way 6, isn't it?
Massive. Looking for the second run. Run the first one really very hard, but decided against it. And finally a good over this for the Namibian side, 55 for 3 after 9.
Annie Levy. Four now, gents. Take 4 with us at halfway.
Lofty Eaton. Still a good number of spectators that have come into this ground to watch a match where the home team is not playing. Cricket has really started gaining a lot of fanaticism in this country.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams have won themselves some new fans here in Nepal. It really is a healthy turnout for what was a pretty grim morning.
Massive appeal. Shake of the head from the umpire. Says no.
Yeah, on the full, I think, or very full, and I think that's outside the line. And yeah, it won't be a very difficult decision for the umpire there.
Sometimes the part-timers appeal really hard, isn't it? They want a wicket so desperately. Michael Levitt, known more for his batting acumen. Yeah! This time it's much closer. Umpire still not convinced.
Yeah, much better shout this. I think, has it just pitched outside the line? It certainly can't be missing, surely. Oh, but perhaps, yeah, no, right call, in fact. It was a little bit shorter and it has just pitched on the leg side. You can't be giving those.
Spot on by umpire Durganath Subedi. Intense shout from Michael Levitt, but the umpire got it right both the times. So your words on the following that cricket has in this country, and how much does the fan base helps in getting sponsorship and overall development of the game.
Yeah, well, it's remarkable actually. You see the Netherlands playing, I think this might be the first time in over a decade that you're seeing them with a main sponsor on the front of their shirt. Nordic did come on board before the World Cup, but of course, in the World Cup, it's just the country name that they go with. With that sponsorship money, that'll help enormously. Of course, the Dutch have in the past, certainly the past decade and a half or so, been extremely reliant on the funding they can extract from the ICC. Performances, of course, have helped in that regard. But having a main sponsor on board in Nordic, looking at expansions in contracts, as that's whipped away into the leg side, but there's protection out there in the deep.
So 10 overs bowled, 59 for 3, and drinks will be called.
Right come around here.
Well, then a wicket each for 3 bowlers. Kingma got the initial wicket. And this partnership now so very important for the Namibian side. Lofty Eaton batting at 6 of 11, J.Z. Smith 18 of 15. It's still question their intent and suggest that they've not been as aggressive as they should have been.
Yep. And Aryan Dutt back into the attack. Went for a few in his first.
Lovely.
Still just content to nudge it around at the moment, this pair.
Beautiful, Daddy.
Namibian side, they need to produce a victory of at least 30 runs to defeat Netherlands and improve their net run rate and qualify for the finals on Tuesday. Home team Nepal, already there.
Yeah, that was an excellent effort from the home team that we saw. Really demolished the Dutch side that looked like they'd found their mojo in the series up until that point. But yeah, the Namibians here now, well, the deck doesn't look like it's got quite as many runs as it did at the start of the series, but par plus 30, they've got to be thinking surely 170 minimum.
Lovely, Daddy.
It's amusing to realize that the average score in the ODIs has been easily surpassed by the average score of the T20is.
Yeah, it's astonishing, really. I could barely believe they were playing on the same ground as I was watching on from Pokhara. And yet, is it a question, have the wickets flattened out, or is it just a question of intent? Because as we see here now, lacking in intent, Namibia struggling for runs again.
Just when we criticize they're not showing the intent, JJ Smith did show some intent, but not enough for the ball to carry all the way, and the Namibian captain has been hauled out.
Well, that's the danger, isn't it? Trying to hit Aryan Dutt there with spin, and he's gone really just, yeah, shanked half off the bat, and it's gone straight up for Noah Cruz. Still a job to do there. It's coming out of what is, to be honest, a very white sky, plenty of glare. None of those are easy, those high catches out here today.
Also partly because it has been drizzling. Very, very slightly, but it's drizzling. And a good catch eventually. And Aryan Dutt has picked up his first. He is a happy man. JJ Smith dismissed for only 18 of 17. The score is 60 for 4.
Same field. Thank you.
Jane Green has been promoted up the order, and I think rightly so. He's shown a lot of intent. He's looked a complete batter. Smoked Van der Merwe for 22 runs against Netherlands. And that's when the Namibian score was going nowhere, chasing 247. Cut, fine this time, and a boundary for Jane Green in the very first delivery.
Yeah, a bit of an adventure, backed away. And I think I do like this as well, Zane Green. He's batted higher up the order in the past for the Eagles. And he's been down the order through the ODIs and for this series so far. But against the spin especially, has shown that aggression. He's got that array of shots. And maybe just inject a bit of momentum into what has been really a pretty sluggish Namibian innings so far.
65 for 4. Comes round the wicket. Oh, the turn in that delivery.
Over. And your leg.
So 11 gone, 65 for 4.
That's your centre. Coming right arm over there. Yeah, same.
So 65 for 4. Levitt is loving his bowling spell. He's asking for extra overs.
Yeah.
Scott Edwards not minding.
Yeah, he's been tidy so far. Michael Levitt, not been giving much away. Hasn't been getting the LBWs he's looking for, but done a job for the side.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely. Van der Merwe got a wicket as well. 65 for 4. The Dutch side very relaxed at the moment. Now the Nepalese side will be traveling to Hong Kong. They have a packed schedule. And then they'll be going to India to face 2 state teams, 2 Ranji teams in fact. And the Cricket Association of Nepal putting in a lot of effort to allow maximum practice for the Nepali side before they get into that World Cup. So where is the Dutch side going from here before the World Cup?
Well, I think it was in the works up until recently that both of these sides would be travelling to Uganda along with Oman at the end of the month for a quadrangular series. But the word is that the logistics of that have proven rather too complicated. So next on the agenda for the Dutch will likely be a home trilateral series with European rivals Scotland and Ireland. Of course, they played a lot of cricket together, those 3 sides in recent times. So always nice to have a Euro tri-series again, and important, of course, for all 3 sides in the run-up to the T20 World Cup.
Also, it's so satisfying to see the rise of associate countries. Ireland have qualified now for a full membership, so has Afghanistan. How far you reckon sides like Nepal and Netherlands, how away are they from that full membership? That's a boundary off the bat of Lofty Eaton.
It's a long way to go still. Of course, full membership is no longer tied to test status, so it's not actually required to have a red ball domestic system. Although I understand that Nepal are looking at reintroducing red ball cricket here.
Absolutely. In fact, the best 4 teams of the Prime Minister's Cup will be playing the red ball cricket after a long time. And the new leadership in Cannes, they're looking forward to reintroduce red ball cricket. And meanwhile, this is a 6. Lofty Eaton didn't try to overhit it. He has all the abilities in the world to go big, and this is one of the many needed.
Yeah, it's there to hit, isn't it? And this is what we want to see from the Eagles, to keep this game interesting, keep the tournament interesting. And you can't let, surely, Michael Levitt, who still carries the title part-timer, bowl at you all day for dots and ones. Wow, Lofty Eaton looking to get this inning started. That's a better ball. Risky single there, you have to say, but no one at the stumps and gets away with it. Brings us to the end of the 12th over. The score at 77 for 4.
So it's very overcast now. You can see dark patches of cloud hovering over this beautiful TU Stadium. 77 for 4. The Namibian side struggling to get off to a flyer. They've lost wicket at regular intervals. And mind you, they'll have to win this match by at least 30 runs to qualify for the finals, but the intent doesn't seem so evident.
Oh, it's a decent shout for LBW there, you have to say. Or was it maybe that Scott Edwards also perhaps appealing for the court behind just in case he's got some glove on it? Just maybe a question of height there. It's hit him almost in the chest, really, low though he was.
Easily declined.
Declined with a smile.
I think the ball would have gone down the leg side.
Yeah.
Firing has been spot on today.
Yeah, it's not been the easiest series for the umpiring team. But they do look like they've got their eye in today. Yeah, wasn't doing enough there. Just going on with the arm, and that would have taken it past the leg stump.
Oh, Aryan Dutt is looking in a different form today. He's getting the ball to turn.
Have it, Daddy boy.
And Lofty Eaton will be careful because he can also bring the one back into the left-hander that comes back with his arm.
Yeah, you have to say it's extravagant turn. It hasn't missed the off stump by much. It's the right approach, I think, from Lofty. Just playing inside the line of the ball, covering the stumps. But to be honest, turned a little less. And that's an edge through to the keeper.
Lovely spin.
Burgess, it has been a brilliant session with you in the comm box, talking about the associate circuit, cricket in Nepal, the Nepali fans, cricket in Netherlands, and the World Cup as well. Plenty of areas we've covered. Has been a great session. I hope you enjoyed as well.
Yeah, thank you, Sachin. Always nice to get another view of this gorgeous ground.
Lovely, Mikey.
Well cut off there, Zane Green. Does have that reverse sweep. Didn't quite get it fine enough there to beat the man. 80 for 4 with one to come.
Yes, so
Yeah, Mikey.
I really wish you with all the luck and in whatever you do in the future, especially
Daddy
covering
boy.
cricket off the associate circuit when there's not enough broadcasting and enough of coverage. That's what's needed to develop the associate circuit. And one day, maybe all three of these teams, Nepal, Netherlands, and Namibia, will get the full membership, hopefully very soon. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much, Sachin. Absolute pleasure.
Around, sir. Body change, right arm round.
So, at the moment, Netherlands are having the better of Namibia. It's a must-win game for Namibia, and they have to win with a fair bit of margin, 81 for 4. So, with the change in bowling, there is change in the comm box. Sanjeev joins me. Good afternoon, Sanjeev.
Wait on. Lovely, Croydon.
Good afternoon, Kiran. So at the moment, Namibia, they are now 81 runs on the board, 4 wickets they have lost. Zen Green and Lofty Eaton, they are the two batters at the crease. It's a must-win for Namibia, and that not only win, they have to win by a big margin to qualify for the grand finale. At the moment, it looks very difficult for them. This time, the ball outside the off-stump played it away towards the super cover region for a single run.
So 13.2 overs have been bowled, just 82 runs on the board, losing 4 wickets. Aryan Dutt just protecting that boundary. Angle Breach is being introduced, just cost 1 run in his first 2 deliveries. So Namibia need to cut loose, and this guy on screen will have a big role to play. Try the reverse sweep. He did it in style. The ball races towards the boundary. How many times have we seen him doing that against that record-breaking game against Nepal? This time around, the spin being offered, not much of a turn. Made room for himself, and off she goes. Cross the boundary. 151st 4 of the tournament.
Terrific shot. It was an innovative stroke, reverse sweep, dispatching it, playing with the middle part of the bat. This man is simply brilliant. The way he bats, strong arms he has, the good pickup, hand-eye coordination he has, the shots he plays towards the onside region is just marvelous. And he's the one this time driving the ball firmly towards the sweeper cover region. There is a fielder. They will go for a couple of runs. Good running between the wickets by these two batters.
Vikramjit Singh protecting the boundary there. So batters had to settle for a lot of power in that shot from Lofty Eaton. He needs to bring his A game to put some pressure of the scoreboard for Netherlands. A close call, I must say, but there's a hint of a churn for the spinners as well. Because it's overcast condition, it looks really, really gloomy in Kathmandu. The rain is knocking.
It was a height factor going above the stumps level, so there was no question about BW. Yeah, overcast conditions, very difficult for the batters to bat on. It was a good toss to win for the Dutch, and they correctly decided to win the toss. That's the end of the over. So 14 overs have been bowled. It's now 89 runs on the board for the loss of 4 wickets.
So 89 for 4. Scott Edwards, you'll always be my favorite cricketer after Virat Kohli. That's the sort of support the home crowd is showing. It's wonderful to see. We'll be trying to pass that to Scott Edwards after the game. So what a wonderful scenario. You know, you are playing in Nepal, you get support. Captain Edwards there, admirer in the crowd. Free entry today, but a wonderful, wonderful scenario. That's why this is the beauty of cricket. This is the beauty of this game. You know, you'll find your supporters no matter wherever you are. People follow you. In the meantime, here is Cockton.
So this time playing the ball towards the point region, though not for a run. Yeah, a die-hard follower of Edward Captain's. Yes, you can see some of the spectators, they have turned up watching this game. Despite the fact gloomy weather over here, overcast conditions, still they have come here. That is the love, passion for the game of cricket in this part of the world. Let me tell you, Nepal is an associate country, but still you can see this is the number of fan followers we have in our country.
There's a bit of drizzle outside, so a bit of worry. We might have interruption, but at the moment, we are going through with the game. Umpires might come into action. It's not very heavy. It's a very light drizzle out there. We've been talking about that. It's been really gloomy, overcast condition here in Kathmandu. TU Cricket Stadium is surrounded by those dark clouds all around. But no matter what, no matter whether the sun's out, the rain's out, the support for cricket is always there. And that's what makes us one of the most popular countries in terms of audience that we have.
It's a bit drizzling at the moment and getting gloomy as well. So I think the umpire will take into consideration the visibility factor as well, because it will be a problem for the batters. It becomes too dark and the visibility goes down there, and umpires will have their decision whether the match can be continued on. There you can see a couple of, the couple having a wonderful time at the venue, having big smiles. They have come here supporting one of the sides.
The family, the friends, brothers and sisters, husbands and wives with their kids. How many times we've seen this into international cricket ground, but nevertheless, it's the love for the game that we have always mentioned. In the meantime, here is Gokton. Lofty Eaton says enough is enough. Clears that infield. One bounce. No, it's gone all the way. We were distracted by that line. But nevertheless, a great shot. Lofty Eaton wants to pose that huge target. He's cutting loose.
Terrific shot. The ball was in the slot, and Lofty lofting that one high over the long off region. No chance for anybody. The ball just sails over the fence for the maximum 6 runs. This time onto the back foot and pulled it away, but there's a protection there down at the deep square region just for a single run. Now he's cutting loose. Now he understands the necessity of the quick runs he has to score for the side. Let me tell you, Namibia, they have to win this game But apart from the winning, they have to win the game by a big margin.
They do indeed. Rain factor coming into play as well. So it will be interesting to see how the competition will look if the game erupts. We might have deduction of overs if we can get the play continuing. The umpires are aware about that. So that will conclude over number 15 with 5 to go. Namibia 98 for 4. So the bad news is the game has been interrupted because of the rain. It's showering heavily now. The ground staffs are running. So umpires have decided to stop the game temporarily. We'll be back after the break. heavily. Out in the middle, you can see the umpire in there with his umbrella on. The ground staff are running around covering that field. So not a very good shot at the moment. There is thunder that we can hear from the commentary box as well. Netherlands and Namibia, they have to wait. Their fate depends on the weather. So for now, let's have a look at the highlights of the game. What has happened so far. So Namibian captain winning the toss, electing to bowl first. They had a decent start, Namibia. Both their openers played sensibly. There were some runs being scored. Square of the wicket, down the ground. Kinma, mind you, Kinma was pick up the bowler. He was bowling beautifully, but even he went for some runs. That was a beautifully shot just over the bowler's head there. Just played it really fine. There was protection, but the fielder was just a spectator. It was that good. Dancing down the ground, clearing that infield, running towards the boundary. So fair bit of boundary to start with the proceedings. Mind you, they utilized the power play after a very sluggish start. A class shot there, bisecting the fielders, running towards the boundary. And look at that, how elegant that looks from a left-hander. Frilling there, opening the face of the bat. Spin being introduced, but no change in the result. The runs were coming regularly. It was just a fall of wickets that put them in the back foot. Straight drive over the bowler's head for 6 there. And by the time the innings was interrupted by rain, Lofty Eaton, mind you, was batting beautifully. That was J.J. Smith, along with his partner, going for runs. Look at that shot from Lofty Eaton. What a treat to watch this guy bat. An amazing, amazing talent for Namibia. With that, the fastest T20i 100 under his belt. He is truly a treat to watch. A wonderful batsman in disguise. Look how easily he plays those shots. You know, just like posing for a cameraman, hitting those shots. It's pouring heavily. Let's have a look at the batting card for now. So Namibia losing the toss, being sent to bat. Kose and Kruger started. Kruger played well for 24. Kose went fairly cheaply, so did Frilling. J.J. Smith played well. At the moment, Lofty Eaton was looking very dangerous. That's pouring down. Now, let's have a look at the fall of wickets. The first one to go was Kruger. Kinma produced absolute beauty. Look at that. He was trying to overdo. Attempted that sweep shot, didn't time it at all. Easy catch. Kinma was delighted there, and he had every reason to be. That was easy cotton ball. You cannot get easier of cotton ball than that ever in cricket. Look at that, just chipped it straight to his hand, grabbed it. Kinma, no doubt, bowled beautifully this afternoon. Then it was Vander Merv. How many times have you seen this experienced campaigner ripping up those bails, flying bails? Beautiful delivery. Look at that, he's watching at the pitch. RM Dutt was bowling good. He went for some runs, but nice catch by course at that end. It was overcast, not easy. So that's how the game stayed before the rain interrupted. Let's have a look at that bowling card. Vivian Kinma, 3 overs, 12 runs, 1 wicket. Gokton 1, Aryan that 1, Vandermeer 1. Everyone chipping in. So at the moment, the game is interrupted due to rain. As soon as we have any update, we will be coming live and updating you. Till then, enjoy a warm coffee. We'll take a break and we'll be back with update.
hohes Pressing, aber versuchen, die Werkself am Spielen zu hindern. Patrick.
So we are back in TU, but things are not looking very good. The weather has gone better of the game today. Still a lot of water in there. It's drizzling. The ground staff are out in the middle. If you are a Namibian fan, things are not looking great at the moment. As you can see, there are lots of puddles being built up there. Earlier on, there were rollers on. The rollers are still working. Super Supper doing its job, but plenty of water. The match ref and umpire having some conversation. We are still to hear any official statement from them. But at the moment, things are not looking good for Namibia. So we will be posting you the update as soon as we hear from the officials. So we'll take a short break and we'll be back again. So the news from the center is the match has been called off. There's plenty of water in the outfield, so the game ended in no result. So both of the teams will be sharing a point each. So now let's have a look at the fours.
Boundaries brought to you by DHI.
So the first boundary was a beautiful cover drive coming from the opening batter of Namibia. We had a little bit of play earlier, in fact, up to 15 overs. And these are the fours that's been scored. There were quite a few shots being played today. Namibia came with an intent. Look at that, a beautiful flick shot. Over his delivery, another one. Let's look at that. Crashed it towards the boundary. So Namibia started very well. In fact, it was Kruger who lost his wicket. They were wicket being humbled, but the runs were coming fairly easily for them. Overcast condition. Netherlands opting with their pace bowlers. Look at that shot. Leaving his crease, coming out, smashing it over the bowler's head. Great shot. Aaron that came in, top edge. Beat everyone, ran towards the boundary for 4. So Aaron Dutt went for 20 in his very first over. Namibia, they did show some intent despite the conditions. As you can see, dancing down the ground, hitting it over the fielder in mid of reason, utilizing the power play to their merit to Namibia. So look at that, absolute gorgeous shot in the front foot. Look at that foot position right towards where the ball was going. Exquisite timing. Always a treat to watch some shots like this. The spinner were going for runs as well, though they were beaten a couple of times. River sweep attempted. Lofty Eaton was in the crease. He was looking dangerous.
Boundaries brought to you by DHI.
Now, there were a couple of big hits being smashed. Let's have a look at the sixes.
Energetic sixes brought to you by Red Bull.
So that was the first one, dancing down the ground, over the bowler's head, into the side screen. That's how Namibia started looking aggressive. Great timing on that occasion. Sitting in his crease, over his delivery, said thank you so much. Lots of runs being scored over the bowler's head, hitting the side screen. So that was another big hit being smashed by the batter of Namibia. Then it was who else than Lofty Eaton lofted that ball. That ball went flying over the top for 6. Then it was the man in action again. He was looking really dangerous before that rain started pouring down. Was Lofty Eaton.
Sixes brought to you by Red Bull.
So that was the betting card. Coach Jay went earlier. Kruger played sensibly for his 24th. Frilling gone cheaply for 5. Zeze Smith, the captain, played for 18. Lofty Eaton was looking really dangerous, not out before that rain came up for 36. And with Jane Green supporting him in 11. So now let's have a look at the fall of 4 wickets.
Wickets brought to you by Red Bull.
So the first wicket, he was trying to improvise, never a safe shot, playing against Skin Mahi, generates that pace and bounce straight to the gloves. That's how the proceedings started for Netherlands in the form of wicket. Kinma into action again. Oh, it was Gokten on this occasion. Look, his delivery, just check shot straight into Gokten's hand. He said, thank you very much. Second wicket, Frilling was the victim, and that was a japper of a ball, straightening in a bit of bounce. Who else than Vander Merwe, taking the third wicket for his side to his delight. And Aryan Dutt having the last laugh over the top, straight to the fielder. Easiest of catches, but overcast condition, I must say that was very well taken.
Wickets brought to you by Red Bull.
So that's how the bowling looked like. Kinma pick up the bowlers, 3 overs, conceding 2 out, taken 1 wicket, a wicket each for Gokten, Aryan Dutt and Vander Merwe. So in 15 overs, Gokten, Dutt and Vander Merwe getting a wicket each. So after the end of the league games, that's how the points table stands. Netherlands, 4 games, 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 no result tie today, is 5 points comfortably in there. Nepal, after those 2 losses, coming back stronger with those 4 points. Namibia, unfortunately, has been knocked out of this tournament with 3 points. So the big final will be coming live here in TU International Cricket Ground on Tuesday. We have a rest day tomorrow, so Nepal will be facing mighty Netherlands. We will be coming live sharp at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. Don't forget to tune in on Action Sports TV for that action. And then you can also catch us live on FanCode and YouTube channel. That's all from the Combox today. Your friend Kiran and the whole production team signing off. Have a great day.